One. It's live. This is Dirty Kev. I'm here today with M. Abdallah and the one and only Max Zwak. This is Just Three Jobbers. And we are here today to discuss the WWE Draft 2020. Boys, gentlemen, thank you for coming here today. How you guys doing?
I'm great. Dirty Kev, how are you?
J3J.
J3J, baby. Love it.
Throw 'em
Moose,
up.
any update on
now.
any update on the merch?
Yeah, I just set up a website. I'm in the works of setting up a website for Just Three Jobs.
Yeah. That's good.
He's written it down in his notes.
Yeah.
But no, once we do, it's gonna be sick and tap in because it's gonna be awesome.
Moose doesn't want to have to answer the question, so he ends up taking one of
Cheers
those.
to you, Moose.
Moose takes a blood capsule, just starts bleeding out of the mouth. We have to stop the podcast again.
Mouth watering.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we're here today, and again, I'm glad we're here because one of my favorite things that WWE does, and they've been doing over the past few years, and what honestly got me back into wrestling was the WWE draft. Max, I mean, we've seen some pretty damn good drafts, I guess, and Moose as well. I don't know how many you've seen, but I mean, what are you guys? I guess Max, where do you put this among kind of the other kind of drafts? Among was it entertaining for you? I mean, do you like kind of the picks going on? Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I think this I mean, since 2014 or 2016, excuse me, they've been doing basically yearly drafts, or sometimes they call it the Superstar Shakeups, and I think that this is probably the second best one since that original 2016 complete shakeup when they had only one brand on both shows at first, one roster, and they did the full switch up. That was at a time where Raw and SmackDown had gotten so stagnant. SmackDown was almost meaningless because it was all secondary, small parts of some feuds, and nothing that mattered happened on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like revolutionary because WWE 2015 and first half of 2016 was very tough. There was some really – 2016, the WrestleMania 33, I believe it was, or 32 was brutal, and so that was like big. But this was more. It was in the same boat where WWE was getting stagnant, not to that extent, but especially Raw, they were really dragging out some storylines.
Yeah, Raw definitely needed this.
SmackDown with Roman Reigns returning had gotten some really good shakeups, and that was doing all right. I mean, it still is going to help overall. They still had some of the same things going on every week, but I'd put it up there. This was necessary. I think I'm a big fan of almost all of the moves in the rosters. Just on top of it, I'm going to kind of quick give my answer, and then maybe Moose, you can get into it. I think Raw was the huge winner overall. I think Raw's roster is so stacked now, and I'm excited where they go moving forward. I think SmackDown is going to need to really elevate some stars here. So what do you think about that, Moose? What do you think came on top really?
I totally agree with you. I think Raw definitely took it. Like you said, Raw for the past kind of few months, their storylines have been kind of like, I mean, besides the Randy and, Drew storyline, and a little bit of the Hurt Business, but most of them just kind of been dragging on and on. And I think the worst part of the draft, I know we try to stay positive, is moving Ray and Dom to SmackDown after they drafted Seth to SmackDown. I think they should have left Dom and Ray.
and split up the feud. No, that's going to continue on. Yeah. They put Murphy over there too. I mean, they're going to. That's a SmackDown feud now, so SmackDown's going to have to deal with that.
Vince McMahon, you want long-term feud? I'll give you long-term feud.
You guys also have to remember though, like the execs. You remember the execs from Fox and USA want. They're pretty much the final draw who gets picked,
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like,
it makes sense they want the biggest face in WWE and Dominic Mysterio on SmackDown.
And, Ray's been like his whole career on SmackDown. And I think, Fox realized that and that could build up their more viewers on SmackDown as well. The legend Rey Mysterio, who's always been a SmackDown performer, I think that would definitely help out with the ratings for Fox. And I think that was what kind of the main reason why they did it. But I really love The Fiend going back to Raw. I think The Fiend went to SmackDown, helped SmackDown push the initial Fox launch, And I think him being back on Raw is where he needs to be because, Raw has always been, at least in my opinion, that number one show that, big storylines. And I think The Fiend, who does a better storyline than The Fiend.
It isn't really now, though. SmackDown's better in ratings.
I know. Well, yeah, just because the Fox launch. I'm saying before,
Star.
At least when I was a big fan.
Stars.
Back, late 2000s, 2010s, so. Yeah.
The best two heels outside of Randy Orton in the company are now on SmackDown. Roman Reigns and Bayley.
True.
And Seth Rollins is a third. So, that's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think, Kevin, why don't you get into this?
Yeah.
Overall thoughts, maybe talk about the New Day, Big E being split up between Kofi and Xavier.
Well, I kind of wanted to give an outset of what I believe the overarching goal, and I guess kind of
trying to
get across with this draft. One thing I noticed with SmackDown is SmackDown has a lot. They still got their solid characters, and not only do they have all solid characters. Sami Zayn is probably out of him and Bobby Lashley, he's a little bit, but he can go by himself. You look at the tag team champion, they've got the number one tag team champion, I'd say. New Day needed the lead. So Private Party, they've been set up as a very successful Raw tag team, beating almost everybody.
They're Street Profits?
Oh, my God. Jesus. Yeah. What's Private Party?
Basically the same. They're in AEW.
Oh, my God. You're right. Yes. So sorry. Street Profits.
They are pretty similar in character.
And style. And but yeah, Street Profits. They're the most solid, I'd say, tag team right now. Moose, what are you smiling about? And then again they got Roman Reigns, number one guy. Yeah, they got Roman Reigns, and then they got Seth Rollins. I'd say who's been honestly the face of Raw before Drew McIntyre.
Think of the draft, KO.
Yeah, and KO, dude, KO needed to get off Raw. I think KO is going to flourish in the 2-hour segment, and I think he's someone who I personally think is going to. I think because of this, he's going to end up reaping the benefits the most out of anybody.
All right, Max, I have a question since KO's your favorite wrestler, and and as everyone knows, I wasn't really watching wrestling from 2015 till about 2019. So was KO and Sammy, because I saw some videos of KO and Sammy hugging, working together. Were they like a tag team, or were they just really good friends who helped each other out along the way, or I'm just kind of
he really doesn't know.
Yeah,
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens debuted in NXT, and Sami Zayn and him are best friends in real life. And Sami Zayn just won the NXT championship, and Kevin Owens came out. He started as a face for his first match, came out and celebrated with Sami, then boom, turned on him. It was one of my favorite moments in maybe the last 7 years of wrestling. I think it's phenomenal. So that boosted KO to this huge heel run, which led to him beating John Cena in his first match on Raw, long NXT championship, and then it was 2017. Yes, 2017 that Kevin Owens was in a big feud with Shane McMahon. They did a Hell in a Cell match, and Sami Zayn came out because Sami Zayn's been fighting Kevin Owens for years as a face, and Sami did a heel turn at that point, helped Kevin Owens beat Shane McMahon, and then they were a team from that point for the next maybe 8 to 10 months, and then I think they might have gotten split up in the draft. But they were great as a team together when Sami kicked off his heel run, and a great team. They're best friends, so they have amazing chemistry together in the ring and just chemistry, talking wise in the promos. So I think that's a big potential to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the same feud, and it's probably gonna be a feud now because Kevin Owens is a face. So I'm really excited. That's one of the big things is I really hope to see a Kevin Owens Sami Zayn feud, but now it's switched. It's Kevin Owens is the face, Sami is the heel. This is something I've never seen before. So that's one of the big things. Two of my favorite wrestlers. Sami is current Intercontinental Champion. So
that'll be awesome. That's what I was going to say. Speaking of that, they're going to have an amazing, probably maybe a Hell in a Cell match, or probably that's too soon because it's only a couple weeks away. But
maybe down the line.
Yeah, no,
I think their end goal. I honestly think they could have a feud that could potentially lead to a Hell in a Cell match down the line.
Yeah, at a WrestleMania maybe.
A great WrestleMania match.
Oh, it would be phenomenal.
Although Kevin Owens could be the next guy after Jey Uso to fight Roman Reigns. He might be the biggest face on their roster. besides
What sucks,
maybe
though, is that it's just another
Big E
loss
and Daniel
for
Bryan.
Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is becoming a little bit of the Nikki Cross of the I guess the main event scene.
I know, but I mean, he just got to win against Aleister Black last night, right? So
Yeah.
And Aleister
I'm
Black
glad that
on
the feud.
SmackDown. I'd say, and that's kind of huge. Aleister Black also getting a brand new.
Yeah,
Another thing I noticed with SmackDown, you look at it, Aleister Black is someone kind of floundering. SmackDown is going to be good again for these guys having that 2 hour. I think that 2 hour, just program. I think Aleister Black is somebody they're going to, I think he was pushed over. Big E is somebody they're going to push as being a new star while they also have the top stars. I think it just makes sense. It's a very well done draft. I think they did it in a very kind of smart way. What else do you guys think?
I think Murphy also is another guy that could get a big shot on SmackDown.
What do you think? What do you guys think of the Fiend moving to Raw? Braun Strowman also moving to Raw.
Yeah.
What do you think of those?
Yeah, Moose had kind of said. Oh, go ahead, Moose.
I watched just some highlights before this of Keith Lee and Braun Strowman, and I think that's going to be an amazing feud. I think Braun is going to excel in this kind of upper mid card. Like, I wouldn't say mid card, but still, mid cards are not going for the championship. So upper mid card, I think, down the line, we could see him versus Drew and even Keith Lee. I think it's going to be an amazing feud. But I think Raw actually won in the women's division. Like, I really like Naomi and a few others going for Raw.
Lacey Evans.
Yep. Because I was getting tired of Asuka facing, the same 2 to 3 women every Monday or at every pay-per-view. So I think.
Yes. You really hit it on the mark. Raw's women's division got boosted so hard. And also the tag team division. They have the Hurt Business, Miz and Morrison, New Day as champions. Really interesting that they did the switch of champions. New Day and the Street Profits switched champions since they switched brands. I don't know how much I like that, but I'm willing to kind of. But now they're saying that Street Profits are Triple Crown champions because they've been Raw, SmackDown, and NXT champions. So it's like, but did they really win the SmackDown champions? They just kind of switched to them. But I digress. The Raw tag team division we've talked about was extremely depleted over there. So really being pumped up with Lucha House Party. You've got Retribution, obviously. I don't know if they'll be in the tag division not necessarily. Miz and Morrison and Hurt Business and the New Day. I mean, that's a really solid group. SmackDown isn't that bad either. They have Rey and Dominic, Street Profits, Shinsuke Cesaro, and Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. So those are some good splits there.
Can we confirm that I know we talked about this in an earlier podcast, but do you think we can confirm now that it's definitely going to be Retribution versus the Hurt Business at Survivor Series?
It's very possible.
What are we thinking? What is it? Repeat that. So you say Hurt Business versus Retribution?
Yeah, Survivor Series. Because, we talked about it before in the past, and now that Mustafa Ali is the leader, and, Hurt Business was, colliding with him, plus they're with her Retribution. I kind of got off topic there, but.
Well, we can go into that. I mean, let's talk about Monday Night Raw, and I think we all can agree with Monday Night Raw. They honestly won between them and SmackDown when it comes, I'd say, to taking in.
Yes.
They
clearly.
And I mean, I'm excited for Monday Night Raw. It looks like 3 hours of Raw might be filled, and we can also say that because I think
they can build
SmackDown
feuds up and down now.
I mean, SmackDown built these characters up so well over the last 2-3 months. They're all characters I think I'm very excited about to see on Raw, and I think. I think it's gonna be very good for the show. I think we're gonna enjoy Monday Night Raw a little bit better.
Yeah, I love Miz and Morrison being on Raw. Like, that was probably one of my favorite segments last night was Miz TV. It was just super funny, super entertaining. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooks killed it. Like you said, Raw just has a lot of talent now, and I think Vince and the higher ups saw that Raw was kind of not putting out the best product that they have been, and I think they really went for. The switch it up and make Raw have more of these stars, so. And
at the same time, there may be a lot more stars, not the top stars, I would say. I mean, you're still building up Drew McIntyre is, getting to that elite status. He's not there yet, I'd say. But again, he's getting up there. Whereas Seth Rollins has been established as an A player, and same as Roman Reigns, that's an A player, and same with Rey Mysterio. And I'd even agree, honestly, with Max in the fact that Dominic Mysterio I like him a lot, and he's getting better and better every week. And I think he's starting to show truly that he is getting over with the crowd. I mean, it seems like that online at least.
Yeah.
Dude, if we don't get Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania,
Oh my God.
I'm saying it now. It has to be Dominic Mysterio versus Roman Reigns. The biggest face versus the biggest heel in the
No,
company.
Big E. I'm a bigger fan of Big E than I am Dom.
It'll be Big E.
Yeah, if they don't get The Rock, it's Big E.
Shoot Dominic to the moon. I'm all in. I'm all in on Dominic.
No, I'm not watching him WrestleMania. Dude, Dominic looks so plain compared to Roman. I just ripped my entire body into shreds.
Dominic gets you to feel for him, though. Big E's a big guy. He doesn't bring you in with that sympathy as much.
No,
it's just factual.
Yes, he does. He's one of the best speakers. Dominic's not even that good of a speaker.
I'm not saying anything about his promo game. I'm talking about in match. I'm always thinking he has the advantage because he's jacked, which is awesome.
You're right.
He's
It'll be the worst. It'll be the worst build. It'll be Rey Mysterio wearing his Louis Vuitton every single week, speaking to Paulie Heyman and Roman Reigns. I love it. That seems amazing.
Sign me up, baby.
But
regardless, I don't think it'll be Mania, but I think they do that before Mania.
So like I said in the group chat, if it is Rock, do you think Rock wins the Rumble, or do you think he just shows up on a random SmackDown and just it starts there?
No, I don't think he wins the Rumble.
I don't think he'll win the Rumble. I mean, I think that'd be an awesome moment, but
someone might too. I bet Fiend. If I had to put my money on it, it'd be the Fiend or Big E.
See, I think Fiend.
Those are both great. Yeah.
I like Fiend because then he can face Drew, and then that saves. You could still do Randy versus Edge at Mania if you want.
Exactly. And honestly, I think right now Fiend versus Drew McIntyre is the one. Like Fiend will get Drew. Fiend is going to be the biggest face against the biggest heel potentially. And I mean Fiend also. Who did Fiend face that last year? John Cena. You know what I mean? Who is essentially being built as the next John Cena? Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
It's all connected.
It's a really big match.
I'm essentially Charlie.
It's a real big match.
Or that's Sunny in Philadelphia. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. But so I think that's one of the most exciting things too. I mean, honestly, these Monday Night Raws, when it comes to matches, they're kind of forgettable. None of us, I mean, is there any? I guess the Big E versus Sheamus match was a good blow off of their feud. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I like that match. I watched it today, so it's fresh in my mind. I really liked a lot of the spots. It was a hard hitting match with the kendo sticks and the table, and it was just really good, a lot of good spots, and I really enjoyed it. I popped a couple times.
Yeah.
So,
what do you guys think? Oh, sorry. Keep going.
I was just saying, Biggie got his revenge from getting the white noise through the car, when Sheamus said that Xavier Rose was waiting on him in SmackDown, and then it turned out Sheamus was actually behind him and, beat him up and did the white noise to him on the car. And Biggie got his revenge, on Friday because he did, the big ending on the car. And so
I thought it was a good episode of SmackDown. Sorry, I want to also point out we never really got to discuss this. What do you guys think of AJ Styles?
Great pickup for Raw. I mean,
it was a great pickup for Raw, but I think it was kind of weird that he was literally just on SmackDown for a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months.
I think it was to get him away from Paul Heyman.
You think? Or they've been arguing backstage and stuff? I really don't.
I don't think he liked Paul Heyman. I think sometimes Paul Heyman might have actually had kind of a bad rap backstage. Right.
Look up Paul Heyman, AJ Styles, the background shit. Yeah. It was AJ Styles does not respect Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman did some shit behind his back or something about the Good Brothers.
OC too, like the OC being let go.
That's what I'm saying. The Good Brothers.
Yeah, the Good Brothers. Sorry, you're right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean Jeff Hardy's just a lot of good characters.
Let's look at the Raw men's roster now.
All right.
I mean Drew McIntyre, Her Business, Ricochet, Miz and Morrison, Angel Garza, Randy Orton, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Matt Riddle, Jeff Hardy, Keith Lee, Elias, Sheamus, Dabba-Kato, and Retribution. I mean, this thing is just stacked.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean.
So can we officially say Raw mid-rounds no more? Can we officially say that's never going to happen again?
I knew when you heard Dabba-Kato, you're like, oh, that guy's.
That's what I was also wondering. I mean, it's been gone for what, 3 weeks now? 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks now, yeah. If I had to put my money on it, I'd say it's done.
Yeah.
Arturo Ruas.
I mean, I enjoyed it. While it was happening, but, there's really not much you can build off that unless you do an actual full-on 5-minute UFC match with it or whatever, you know, kind of like what NXT did with what's it called when they had Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle.
Yeah, but WWE just it's tough for them. I don't know. I thought it was a cool segment. I just don't think they knew it. There wasn't much legs with it, I guess. And
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't really move from that.
Yeah, there's creatively couldn't come up with anything. I don't know, but I mean, whatever.
I
Hey,
think.
Oh, sorry. Keep going, Max.
Oh, no problem. I think I just want to present a question to you. What the biggest mistake of the draft? I think the clear answer is Ricochet staying on Raw.
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
Ricochet really needed a switch up to SmackDown. I think that would have been huge for his character, and it wouldn't have hurt Raw's roster one bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do want to point out this too. It is promising to see Ricochet end his feud with the Hurt Business this weekend, or this week on Monday. He's finally over with it, and he got the W technically on.
Apollo Crews is gone from Raw. They split him up from the Hurt Business.
Yeah, interesting. Well, and that's
no more Apollo versus Hurt Business.
I will say something about this though. Apollo was so bad on SmackDown years ago.
And the
yeah, but like he's changed. He'll be. He's okay. Right. He was okay this year.
He'll be a good mid-carder, you know, probably wrestle for the Intercontinental Champion and lose. And
Sami Zayn can beat him a few times, maybe.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah. And you're right. He did really improve himself. I just kind of forget because Bobby Lashley beat the hell out of him on his 2 matches. I guess his momentum was just kind of dead in the water for me.
And I also this is kind of I'm sorry to interrupt you, Kevin, but Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley or something that could be a big match, you know, for the United States title, building him up because you know right now they're doing Randy and Drew and whoever Drew faces after Randy, you know, like if they don't choose Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley or Braun Strowman versus Lashley, I think that's the key thing one of the key things the draft got was with Braun Strowman and Keith Lee. Because then now Bobby Lashley has actual opponents that could actually challenge him more than Apollo Crews and Mustafa Ali. And I mean, Mustafa Ali is good, don't get me wrong, but Bobby Lashley's kind of on a whole different level with size and strength and brute force. And he needs someone to actually be able to contend with that. And Raw was missing a lot of the big guys. Raw didn't have very many huge guys.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. No, I would agree with you on that. I do want to say something, though, that if Mustafa Ali versus Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title, I mean that would be a huge match for a U.S. title. I mean, think about that. That would be kind of big.
Retribution helping him out, and then they have the Hurt Business helping them. Yeah, it'd be a good feud. That's what I'm saying. Survivor Series match, you know, to build up to that as well, and have a U.S. title match.
So you agree, but Moosh, what would you say is the biggest miss for you? I mean, I'm trying to think here. If I look at the list, I'd say. I think Ricochet is the big one, Max. I'd say maybe.
I'd also say New Day splitting up. I think that the New Day never should split up. I mean, I know they're not actually like splitting as a team.
Hey, here's a hot take.
I don't think there's any difference between New Day, Big E getting his run, and the New Day splitting up. There doesn't have to be both. Okay. They can be together. You know what I mean?
Here's my hot take. You guys will probably not agree with it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think, and I know with this whole feud with Retribution, whatever, but I think Hurt Business would be better for the company, for WWE, if they were on SmackDown on Fox. Because, you know, these are three huge athletic guys on Fox who, you know, what's Fox? And one of the biggest NFL programs in the nation. They show SmackDown all the time. Wouldn't you want to tune into a Friday night SmackDown if you saw the Hurt Business on the commercial? You know, like these 3 muscly dudes are just massive, and they just, you know, they're the Hurt Business.
In suits.
Yeah. Like I feel like
I don't hate that take. I don't hate that take.
I don't hate it either. I'd say SmackDown, though, if you think about it, they got 2 of the best wrestlers in ring. I mean, I think Fiend may have been a little too – he's great for views, I'd say. Fiend maybe a little cartoonish for SmackDown, especially it's hard to show that for Fox. So, I mean, I know what you mean, but I mean –
more time on Raw, too, to really have, like, segments for the Firefly Funhouse.
I agree, man. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's not a terrible idea. I mean, we can all agree, and you know, when looking at this draft, it was honestly something that I think worked out for both of them. It wasn't. I'd say the presentation, it was a little lackluster. I was a little disappointed that it was just Stephanie McMahon, truthfully.
Yeah, I liked how it used to be back in like 2006 and 2000 whatever when they would have both of the GMs. You know, when we're on Raw and SmackDown had GMs and they'd come out and do their picks and stuff like that would happen. I really like that. But
I mean, WWE, they're true to the word. They're not using GMs right now. I mean,
yeah,
we only bitched and complained about it online and forever about it.
Adam Pearce. I like Adam Pearce as the guy who's just in charge of everything, but he doesn't really have a character.
Yeah. It's interesting. He didn't really do anything, but it was more Stephanie McMahon. But whatever. It was cool. It works. I mean,
like he's in the background. Like he like negotiates things in the background, almost not as a GM. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just kind of like the control of the talent, whatever the word is. That.
Oh, quick question.
Talent operations.
Move on. What do you guys think? Is Matt Riddle gonna flourish?
I hope so.
I mean, he really slid into the mid card there on SmackDown. So
I think that's the reason why they moved him too. I don't know. I hope he flourishes, but WWE could also put him on the back burner. It could be hearsay. It's either he's going to flourish or they're just going to put him back where regular mid card again.
I'll be disappointed if he's ever pushed down to like lower mid card, just because he's somebody who's actually a legit stud, can beat anybody up. He was a good character. He actually, put it in an all right feud. I'm just nervous that, I don't know, there's so many, like Keith Lee's a new guy that they got to get over. Matt Riddle's, there's a good amount of people they still got to get over. I don't want Matt Riddle to get lost in there, and especially with kind of all the drama going on with Matt Riddle. I mean, the WWE was just sued by that accuser. And I don't know if it's wrong or right. I mean, I think Vince kind of likes his bravado and I think he kind of likes how Matt Riddle is. But I mean, we'll see. I really do hope he doesn't get, punished for being moved over to Monday Night Raw. And hopefully it's like a good opportunity and good spot for him.
And also maybe him and Ricochet could have a great feud.
Yeah, there's endless opportunities. It's a ton of talent on Monday Night Raw, and I think we all can agree with that. So yeah, we're all excited with that. Now, I think we can briefly go over this. I don't know if Max is looking at it right now. AEW is about to have their 1-year anniversary show currently right now. I mean, what do you guys think? I guess my first question, what was your guys' favorite moment of AEW's first year?
Moxley destroying everybody.
All right. Big Moxley guy there. I'd say one of my favorite moments was Cody Rhodes doing that jump off the top of the cage on the Wardlow.
That was just so special.
He said, what do you say? He said something before it. What do you say? When he hits his chest.
I don't know, but that clip is just legendary. That thing will live on forever. It's not that's the biggest moment. God,
let's live forever.
FTR debuting was great.
I mean, let's just name off the good moments. I'd say let's just name
FTR debuting, but the one show where they had Luke Harper come out Brody Lee come out as the Exalted One, at Hardy end the show with his debut. Yeah. That was really exciting.
I would say the entire Chris Jericho versus Cody Rhodes feud was just so fun. Chris Jericho, a little bit of the bubbly. Chris Jericho getting beat up backstage and then yelling at everybody, "I bought a ticket! I have a ticket!" I love that. That's one of my favorite. Cody Rhodes going into there and breaking the glass before they start fighting all over. I kind of like the chaos of Dynamite.
Yeah, I love the inner circle just because, I know I say this a lot, but AEW really gave me old WCW vibes just seeing clips. And, WCW had the NWO, and right away they introduced the inner circle, which is like obviously not the NWO, but they have a lot of similar qualities. They run shit pretty much, or they did at the beginning of Dynamite. I thought that was really cool how, it was on TNT and they made all those comparisons to, a lot of wrestling fans, they would get that they watched wrestling for a long time or, follow the history. So I think that's one thing AEW did really well is they kept the history of the TNT brand and all that stuff, but
I think we all can agree AEW has done one thing is that when, they've shown some of the best professional wrestling and some of the most entertaining segments in wrestling as well. They can do it both. I think
TV14, baby.
Yeah, man. I mean, what about you, Max? I mean, any other kind of like good moments or anything,
I know it's recent, but the Best Friends versus Santana Ortiz street fight was outstanding.
Yeah,
the 8-man
outstanding.
the 8-man tag match.
Yes, I was just about to say that as well. FTR and the Young Bucks versus Butcher Blade and Lucha Brothers.
Mhm.
That's up there as match of the year for me still. I mean, that thing was so much fun. So like the whole tag team division is just outstanding. I mean, there's so many great moments. It's really hard to really narrow down, but those are a lot of them. We really all talked about a lot of them.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and I mean, if there are, sure. I mean, you can always say also even that first episode of him breaking, putting Kenny Omega's head into the glass table. They just started off with a bang, and AEW showed out.
Mhm.
I mean, when it comes to pay-per-views, for the most part, I've been very entertained. I spend money on a pay-per-view, which is kind of wild to think. $50 doesn't bother me when it comes to AEW because usually I'm making them. I'm getting it's worth it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for them to kind of come
100%.
back to Chicago and everything. But yeah. I mean, tonight we got AEW. We got what do we got? Cody Rhodes versus Orange Cassidy for the TNT title. We've got Akira Shida versus Big Swole for the Women's Championship. And then you got also the Tag Team Championship of FTR versus
The best tag team in the world versus the Best Friends.
The Best Friends, which I am a huge fan. I'm a huge Best Friends fan. And then also main event.
Same.
We got John Moxley versus Chris Archer, the rematch of the Texas or not
Lance Archer.
Death match. Sorry,
Chris Archer.
Lance Archer.
Who's Chris?
Chris Archer's a pitcher at the MLB. Chris Archer, yes, I bought a ticket.
So do you think tonight Moxley has reigned for a whole year? Or do you think they take it from him? I think they got to have him win. Just have that 1 year title reign, pretty much.
He didn't have it. Chris Jericho was the first champion.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I guess pretty close to a year.
I think Moxley.
He didn't have it till February.
That's 7 months, 8 months, 6 months.
Yeah, Moxley will win tonight, I think.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a great match. I'm pumped about it, man. I love, dude. Lance Archer's just a fantastic big guy. They did a great job before him getting COVID-19 of just kind of presenting him as a dominant force. Won the big matches he needed to win, besides the Cody Rhodes one. But I mean, yeah, I'm excited. That's gonna be match of the night, I think, tonight for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts? Versus Best Friends.
The FTR versus Best Friends.
And watch
what else?
Here comes the Young Bucks. Young Bucks are way better than FTR, Max. You know this. SCU almost beat FTR in the first, what's it called, 20 minutes of glory or whatever that thing they called it. 20 minutes of
But they didn't.
Because what's his name cheated.
If the Young Bucks are better than FTR, haven't the Young Bucks been AEW Tag Team Champions yet, Mustafa?
Yeah, Moose lawyered.
No comment.
Lawyered. Yeah, that's awesome.
Boom.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited. It's gonna be a good episode. I can't wait to watch it right after this too. And then also, I mean, trying to think anything else. We got NXT. I mean, Finn Balor broke his jaw. Really sucks. He looks rough. I just saw a picture of him just looking out of it.
Yeah, today even like what? A week and a half after.
Yeah.
Successful surgery. I saw a couple days ago, or might even today.
Oh my God! Do they
successful
take the title
surgery
from him? Do they take the title? Is that a thing that – I mean, damn, NXT is under a – what a match.
This is just brutal.
That was one of the best matches
Hey,
I've ever seen.
Hot take. Andrade goes back to NXT and becomes NXT champion again while Finn Balor's hurt. And then
great hot take. It was only reported today and talked about in our group chat.
I didn't. No. I'm saying I knew it was reported that he's coming back, but not to win the title. You know.
Okay.
And they also had a great.
He might be out 6 weeks. We'll see. I mean, Killer Cross might be returning soon. I heard his injury might not have been as worse as I guess as feared.
Hopefully. Cross versus Finn. That's a match.
Yeah, Cross versus Finn is definitely going to be a fantastic match. God, Finn Balor, man, that just sucks, dude. The guy was just doing so well on top of his game. I think he's really been owning his character, and now he's just broken.
Give me another Andrade versus Gargano match, man. I don't give a damn. Those were just so
Finn
phenomenal.
Balor. No, give me Finn Balor versus Andrade.
That's also a great match, but the Gargano Andrade stuff, you know how great that was.
Give me Ciampa. I miss Ciampa. I love Ciampa.
Of course, I love Ciampa too.
Give
me all the Ciampa. He's on the show.
He's doing I think because he knows his neck is fragile, and I think he just knows that, he doesn't want to have to be the top guy maybe anymore. He wants to help push guys and raise guys up because he's still one of the best wrestlers out there. But I think he's almost kind of like in that, like kind of mentor-ish. I don't know. We'll see. You never know. But that's just what I'm getting at it with right now. But yeah, NXT solid, just has a solid roster. That's half of them are injured, so it's kind of tough right now. We'll see. Rich Holland destroyed his freaking leg. That was disgusting. I don't know if you guys saw that. He was gonna be pushed as the next big guy, and well, that might not happen now. So that's great. But yeah, anything else you guys want to add?
All the injuries. I mean,
yeah. Anything else you guys want to add? I mean, this is the end of the episode here, I'd say. And
yeah. Follow me at Zwok Max. My wrestling Twitter it's done. I'm all in one, baby. Zwok Max on Twitter.
Yeah, baby. What about you, Moose?
I'm $1.20 for wrestling, and then Moose $1.13 for regular. And I think I'm gonna do what Max does and just have one Twitter. It just makes everything easier, and more of people can see the tweets. So
yeah,
and not just the wrestling community.
Yeah, man. Same here at Mr. Kevin Corcoran. Find us at Just Three Jobbers on YouTube as well. Like and subscribe to this video. We're back. We finally got the technical glitches and difficulties out of the way. So keep checking us out.
We have like 3 unreleased episodes, by the way, that messed up.
Yes. So if we do a Patreon, you guys are going to get it. So yeah, no, I'm kidding about that. But why not?
They'll get the intro where I was super glitchy.
Yeah, dude. That was fantastic. All right, boys. Love you guys. Love all the fans, and we're getting merch soon. Peace out, everybody.
Jobbers out.